Hello and welcome back to the level 99 grind. I'm Circle Master. Hello, Killer Rubber Ducky. Thanks for coming by. I had physical therapy this morning and it kicked my ass. My legs are sore, my back is sore. Everything is sore. And now I'm gonna grind until my thumbs are sore. Not to mention my head. Hey, Hazel Kate. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing today? I'm surviving. Oh, I have an actual piece of good news for my personal health, other than the fact that I'm going through physical therapy, which I guess is supposed to help my physical health, but it mostly just makes me feel sore. But I have finally, after I don't know how many months, been approved for weight loss medication. So I started that yesterday. And so far, I've got some slight nausea, but it's nothing serious. We just finished some projects. What projects, pray tell? Ah. I'm sorry, but my head is just filling with graphic design is my passion memes. You're not a meme? See, saying that apropos of nothing makes me believe that you're not real. So tell me this, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game? I don't know what BO6 is. This is becoming increasingly unhinged. I don't know. What is BO6? Oh. No, I don't play CUD. I am over competitive shooters. I'm too old for that kind of thing. No, unfortunately, I was laid off a few months ago and have no money for such things. Yeah, that's not the plan, Sithipathy. I'm amazed that I got as close as I did saying that username first try. I know it wasn't perfect, but I was ready to screw it up completely. And instead it only screwed it up a little. So I'm proud of myself. Thank you for the bits. Very much appreciate it. That's definitely the kind of username I would need to try several times to get correct. But it's also the kind of username that if I try to repeat too many times, my mouth will screw it up. You know, it's like you say a word so often it loses meaning. The syllables won't mean anything anymore, and I won't be able to say it at all. It'll turn into Sithimony or some stupid thing like that. Now I'm wondering if Sith Money would be a good username. Did you see somebody with that username? It doesn't really mean anything. Like, it's a Star Wars reference, but it's not like Jedi and Sith have different money systems. I don't know. There may be something there. If Illinois. Yeah, Super Saiyan is not what trance is. If there was a way to go Super Saiyan where you got weaker, that would be trance. Yeah, it's going to waste 9 seconds of my life so often that it will add up to hours by the end of this. I will have spent literal hours just watching the trance animation. Hey, Moop Moop. Not only that, but what if every character had it and you couldn't control when they used it? No, once I get Zidane to 99, I'm going to be done. Like, that is the goal. I'm not going to beat the game either, Killer Rubber Ducky. And I think destroying the disc is a little too far, Phil. And Nightbot is just going off all of a sudden. I probably ought to turn that off. No, I have another project in mind, Killer Rubber Ducky, for after this one. That will start in 2029. And in the meantime, I'll just get to play games that I want to play. Imagine that. I know, right? Look, is Morad's coffee worth more than Excalibur 2? No, kids today will never have the joy of a strategy guide that doesn't want you to go online. That there's no link to some online component. Oh my goodness. Hello, Primal Liquid and 26 Raiders. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but thank you. Welcome into me running in a circle for hours. This is a true fact, yes. Also, hey, Harf, and was it Chazilcan? Chazican? I can't read it. My eyes no good. And when you scroll back up, Delsis. And Nose Artson, thank you for chatting and chiming in. I appreciate any company on this eternal grind. What made me decide to do this? Stupidity. No. After I did the Final Fantasy VII grind, it was sometime later. I did Final Fantasy VIII and Tactics just to see which one would be faster, simply because I knew they both scaled and therefore would be fairly short. And it turns out the Tactics is faster. It's about 5.5 hours instead of 12.5 hours, give or take. And then sometime later, I thought, oh, I've done Final Fantasy VII, I've done Final Fantasy VIII, I've done Final Fantasy Tactics. If I do Final Fantasy IX, then I'll have done all of the original PlayStation Final Fantasies all on one memory card. And won't that be cool? And the answer is no, it's not cool. Final Fantasy IX is the worst. It is over 2,100 hours, even done optimally. The game mechanics are awful. The load times are awful. I'm pretty sure the PC version has debug commands built in still. Like, I'm pretty sure there is a button you can press on your keyboard in the remaster or in the PC version that just makes you level 99. It might be even less than that. I think the PS2 one was 8 megs. Let me see if I can search this up real quick. Not MERM, memory. One megabyte. $15 usable blocks. So you can have 15 different save files on your PS1 memory card in total. Now I wonder how many of my slots are actually full. Because I know I have at least a couple Final Fantasy Tactics saves on here and Metal Gear Solid saves on here. Take care of yourself, Primal. Thank you for the raid. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. No, I don't, thankfully. Yeah, none of the grinds I've actually dreamed about, which is a little weird. As I would have absolutely expected that after doing like a 24-hour session of grinding in Final Fantasy VII, that it would have been like stuck in my brain while I slept. But I just slept straight through the night. Probably because I had been awake for 24 hours. Yeah, we've got about 2 more hours of grinding to do today before I get to 50,000 XP to go. Which, for those of you just joining, I grind in 10,000 XP blocks, or I grind 10,000 XP at a time. Simply because it's easier to track than trying to grind for X amount of time or X amount of battles. And it makes it a lot easier to calculate how long in real time it will take me to finish. Because I can just, calculate how much XP is remaining, divide it by 10,000, and that's how many streams roughly are remaining. It's not perfect, but it's a good rough estimate. Have I pet dog this stream? Dog has not come into my room during the stream, but before the stream, Dog was here and I gave her a little bit of sourdough bread. You got a little bit of treat. And then she immediately left. She's like, okay, you don't have any more food for me. I'm going. What I'm amazed about is that Cinna hasn't run out of potions. That's the only thing I buy from him, but he seems to have infinite potions. But then again, from his perspective, I seem to have infinite money. So we're both here participating in this farce of an economy, which has both infinite supply and an infinite money supply, which should preclude any sense of actual economic scale. If you have an infinite number of something, that thing should be free because you have an infinite number of them. it's not commie talk. It's supply and demand. It's basic economics. Economics is the system of designating or assigning resources but it assumes limited resources. It assumes that there is scarcity, that there is infinite demand and limited supply. I hesitate to call it a science. It is this, if it's, I mean, technically an economics degree is a Bachelor of Science and not a Bachelor of Arts. But economics has to be the softest science ever. Like, it is softer than psychology because it is a derivation of psychology. No, infinite supply and limited demand is what we're describing here, where there's an endless number of potions to buy and a near endless amount of money to buy them with. And that is called a post-scarcity economy. The fundamental problem of economics is scarcity, because resources are limited. If you have unlimited resources, then you're beyond scarcity or post-scarcity, and economics basically falls flat. Hey, thank you for the follow, Huggy Supreme. And surprisingly, the best example of a post-scarcity economy we have right now in the real world is internet porn. I'm sure many of you are online enough that I could say, hey, Felinoid, I'm giving you $0 for a budget. Get me all of the internet porn you can for these $0. And Felinoid, being someone who uses the internet, would be able to bring me all of the internet porn. So internet porn is post-scarcity. Oh no, an ad. I wish I could see when they were happening. Oh, so only Felinoid got an ad. You don't have one. Okay. That probably explains why I can't see when they're happening. So yeah, the economy around internet porn, you may have noticed, is around bespoke content. There is an infinite amount of internet porn, but if you are looking for a specific bespoke piece of internet porn, that may need to be commissioned. So you have things like OnlyFans, you have things like the furry porn artists, you have the people who do the 3D model stuff, the the video game character porn. Yeah, like half of Patreon. And the value that they're charging for is not the fact that they make porn, it's the fact that they make bespoke porn. That they will make porn for you specifically, catered to your tastes and desires. You can't say that word on StreamHarf. I'm gonna have to censor that. I don't know how to censor that. The thing is, I actually do know how to censor it. I'm just not gonna bother. No, but I mean from the YouTube video. Like, yeah, if I mute Harf, or timeout Harf, it'll wipe the chat history, but it won't undo the fact that the word appeared on screen in the VOD. But yeah, I obviously am not going to go to that much effort for the sake of this joke. I guess this is my fault for bringing up internet porn. But yeah, potions in Final Fantasy IX are post-scarcity and should be free. It's not commie talk, Fel. It's economic talk. We're in post-scarcity economy for potions in Final Fantasy IX. Not really, Harf. Communism is more of a socio-economic system because it's a system that not only orders economic resources, but it also orders human behavior. Well, it never worked because it was malformed. AK squared. That is indeed correct, Harf. But yeah, just the concept of corruption kind of prevents any theoretical socioeconomic system from succeeding. And even economic systems rely on assumptions that are generally not true, which is why laissez-faire capitalism just led to the Gilded Age. Yes, Phil, I was an econ major. Harf wants to know my top 3 theme park rides. Ooh. This is tough because a lot of my favorite theme park rides no longer exist. It's also kind of biased because I grew up like 15 minutes from Disneyland. So all of my favorite theme park rides are from Disneyland. Yeah, the problem though is if I break them out by type, there are some types of rides that I've just never been on. I mean, I haven't been on a merry-go-round in forever. But like, oh, I was just thinking of it and now I forgot it. I was thinking this is a type of ride that I've never been on, and now I can't remember what it's called. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the specific. So for my specific top 3, number 3, Captain EO. I loved Captain EO as a kid. I had no concept of who Michael Jackson was, or George Lucas, or Francis Ford Coppola, or any people who worked on it. I just liked Captain EO because it was a 3D sci-fi and, you know, I was all into sci-fi and technology. Surprise. So I just really enjoyed Captain EO. I think it's still the most expensive film per minute ever made. But yeah, the Defunct Land on Captain EO I highly recommend. Just the absolute cavalcade of misappropriated talent that was involved in that. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola directed, George Lucas produced, Michael Jackson starred in, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. There's like 9 famous names attached to that film. I'm desperately trying to remember the name of the actress who was like the villain that gets redeemed. I can't remember her name. I'm so bad at names. Was it Angelica Houston? It was Angelica Houston. Yeah, like another major celebrity. Not to mention all the animatronic work and the puppets. So I don't remember if it was Frank Oz or the Jim Henson Company that was involved in those. But yeah, like everything had major names attached to it. And it was a super inflated budget. And it ran over that budget. And there were so many, like, contrasting personalities working on it that there was no singular vision for it. Yeah. Watch the Defunct Land episode on Captain EO. It's great. But yeah, I loved Captain EO as a kid. And when they brought it back after Michael Jackson's death, I went back to Disneyland and saw it. So yeah, Captain EO, number 3. Number 2, Space Mountain. One of only like 2 roller coasters in Disneyland. But yeah, it's a classic. And it's just a great atmosphere. Like, I know it's like, it's a dark ride to obscure the track, so you can't just see how small of a track it is and how it loops around itself. But yeah, just exactly, if it works, it works. And for Space Mountain, it works. And then number 1 favorite ride no longer exists, much like Captain EO. The original Star Tours. Star Tours back in the 80s and 90s. I thought it was great. And then after the prequel trilogy came out, they said, oh, let's update the Star Tours ride, and they made it awful. Yeah, I told you, I was big into sci-fi as a kid. Much more so than fantasy. I actually came to fantasy later on. But also, there aren't that many amusement park rides that were fantasy themed back then. You know, there was no Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park. Fantasyland and Disneyland was more about the animated movies than the genre of fantasy, at least the kind of medieval fantasy that most people associate with fantasy literature. I mean, I had gotten into Lord of the Rings before the movie trilogy came out, but it was like, when I was a little kid and growing up, I liked the sci-fi stories. And it was only in, like, middle school and later that I started reading fantasy. That I, like, sat and read through The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and The Silmarillion. I don't recommend reading The Silmarillion. Oh, and Society, yeah. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Well, I mean, was that... Actually, I don't know if that came before or after the Harry Potter films. Let's see, Harry Potter's Sorcerer's Stone is 2001. Fellowship of the Ring is also 2001. They both came out the same year. So that was kind of a double whammy on the popular culture. That they dropped the Harry Potter films and the Lord of the Ring films in the same year. One of those series has held up. No prizes for guessing which one. Illinois wants my top 3 water park rides. This is where I reveal that I've never been to a water park. I grew up in Southern California. If I wanted to go in the water, I went to the beach. So I've never been to a water park, ever. I don't know anything about what they're like or how they work. And I was on the wrong coast to go to Class Action Park, aka Traction Park. Disneyland is not. I've only been to Disney World once, and we didn't visit everything, so it might. The closest thing to water rides in Disneyland were the submarine voyage, Jungle cruise. Things where you ride on water. I wouldn't call them water park rides, though. They're more like water-themed rides. I did go to SeaWorld once. And got severely splashed on at one of the shows. But that was the closest to a water ride I've ever been on. Well, I made the mistake of sitting in like the third row. So I literally got drenched head to toe every time there was a splash. I don't think a SeaWorld show counts as a water park ride. That's like saying that Splash Mountain is a water park ride. It's not. Well, that's the thing, is that a SeaWorld show you're not riding. You're sitting in, I think they were bleachers. I think it was bleacher seating. And you don't get wet on Jungle Cruise. And you usually don't get wet on Splash Mountain. And you definitely don't get wet on Submarine Voyage. So I will continue to assert that I've never been on a water park ride, because I've never been to a water park. I don't know what the Wisconsin ducks are. I'm assuming you're not riding literal ducks, in which case, yeah, you would get wet because you crash into the water because the duck could not support your weight. I see. Hey, Fred Lim. Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. And now Felinoid has an ad. You know, Felinoid, you wouldn't get ads if you subscribed. Just saying. I'm saying this while Felinoid is watching an ad, so he's not hearing me. It's to run an ad blocker? Is that what you're gonna say, Harf? Uncouth. People used to, Fel. People used to yank it to the Victoria's Secret catalog. No, they're old now. Something Sears catalog. Sears isn't a thing anymore, I don't think. Pretty sure Victoria's Secret is still around. Thank you, Terror Van. Now I have to figure out how to say that.
Quick, time to crank it. A 1998 Sears Wish Book, a bottle of Mrs. Butterworth's, or season 1 of Murder, She Wrote.
How was that? You didn't say to pick top 3. You said say this in a silly voice. You redeemed the wrong thing. That was not my fault. I also prefer it this way, Harv. then for a very brief period, there would be a lot of pumpkins around, I guess. Like, I'm not sure what this hypothetical is trying to set up. What if Santa, but only pumpkin? Now imagine if Santa delivered gifts inside of pumpkins. Like you crack open your pumpkin and inside is your Christmas present. Hey, Nick Dick. I feel like Santa pumps are the sneakers that Santa wears when he goes ballin'. Yeah, Harf, you're thinking of Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas is not a Disney film, it's a Tim Burton film. I don't think it was a Disney film. Oh, it's distributed by Disney. The theatrical release actually doesn't credit Disney. It credits Touchstone Pictures, which I think Disney ended up buying. Oh, Disney already owned Touchstone Pictures at the time. But yeah, that's why I didn't associate it with Disney, because like the theatrical release had no association with Disney. Apparently Disney believed that it would be too dark and scary for kids, so they did not want their brand attached to it. I thought The Happening was that film where, like, everyone is sad because environment. Like, it was a really, really bad attempt to talk about environmentalism. Thing is, plants already developed chemical warfare. It's called capsaicin, and humans decided that we want more of it because we like spicy food. So that was a big ol' whoopsie on plants. Okay, fells into some self-harm shit. Let's not go there. I recommend seeing a mental health professional in that circumstance. See, Harf, that's the kind of thing that should be a short film, not a TV series. Because literally the only reason to watch it is to find out why everyone fell unconscious. So they will either never tell you, or they will tell you and then there will be no reason to watch the show anymore. Like, that should be a 5-minute short at best. Reggae immunity. There was an episode of Next Generation about being addicted to video games. No, not hollow addiction, Felinoid. I'm thinking of the episode where someone gives Riker a pair of, like, goggle video game things that end up being a mind control device, and he's, like, getting everybody else on the Enterprise to play the game. And in the end, only Wesley and Data are left. And, well, to be fair to Riker, it was a woman that he was sleeping with while on leave on the sex planet. So he probably put it on thinking it was a sex toy. And whoops, got mind controlled. It's a video game. Technically, yeah, but that'll, like, physically restraining him and forcing him the device onto him. And you see from his perspective that he's not really playing it. He's just kind of looking and trying not to actively play it. And yet Data flashes a flashlight in everyone's eyes, and that cures mind control. I don't remember him coming, but it's been a long time since I've actually watched the episode. The Wesley-centric episodes are generally not good. There's no real suspense at that point, though, because you already know, as the audience, that Data's working on a solution, and he's a robot, so he's not going to get mind controlled. So whether Wesley succumbs or not is academic. Harf wants me to hydrate. I don't have my water bottle on me. That means I have to pause. And that means I'm going to have to edit around the pause. Hydrate or dihydrate. Alright, I'll be right back. You can listen to music while I get sippies. Alright, water bottle has been acquired. Now it is time for the drinking of the hydration. There you go. I'm pretty sure NVIDIA broadcast made it so you couldn't hear that. But I did in fact have a drink of water. Now I have to edit this episode before I put it up. Well, it's not. I always edit the episode a little bit, but usually just to trim the length and add the Patreon card at the end. Speaking of which, I have a Patreon. I don't usually push it at all, but it's there, and if you support me for any amount, you get your name in the credits. Thumbs up. I don't have bot commands like that. It's patreon.com/circlemaster. I mean, come on. It's always Circle Master. Yeah, I don't know what Nightbot is programmed to do. It seems like it's just programmed to say things at random times. Because sometimes we'll spit out 3 messages in a row, and sometimes it won't say anything I'll stream. It's also in the panels underneath the Twitch stream, Harf. And for those watching on YouTube, it's in the YouTube description. No, that's the opposite of what the whammy sound means. The whammy sound is the fail sound. The success sound is the crab rave. Or I guess the Final Fantasy fanfare if I have that. I do have that. Now I'm looking at my sound alerts and I'm going, oh, I haven't played any of these in so long. I don't even remember what this one is. Favorite victory themes. Man, it's been so long since I played a Dynasty Warriors game, I don't remember what their fanfare is. I don't have a sound alert that is my dog doing a bark. I've not recorded Lindy barking. I'm going to say number 3 is the this original Super Mario Brothers victory when you get the flag. You remember that? Number 2, I'm trying to remember if it's the boss fanfare from Mega Man 2 or 3. I think it's 2. It's the one that goes da-da, 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 da-da-da. That was my attempt at singing. You all can unmute your ears now, because that was god-awful. Yeah, that is 2. Okay, I was right. And number 1, obviously, Final Fantasy VI. Come on. That's not even a question. It is very Nintendo. The thing is, I was sitting here thinking, can I even remember what the Helldivers 2 victory fanfare is when you evac a mission? And I can't. And Elden Ring doesn't have victory fanfare, it just has death fanfare like all the other Souls games have. So yeah, I was like running through PC games that I play, and I wasn't coming up with any victory fanfares that I could actually remember. So I went back to the old consoles that I grew up with, NES and Super NES. All right, Harv, thanks for hanging out. Have a good weekend. Bottom 3 secret endings. Bad secret endings. That is a tough one. I would probably just pick 3 non-standard game overs as bad secret endings, because for the most part a non-standard game over is underwhelming. Sometimes they're interesting, but usually they're just gotchas, or they're forecast so much that you won't ever get them unless you're trying to. All right, here we go. Here's my bottom 3 secret endings. Number 3. Siding with Elijah in the what was it called? The first New Vegas DLC. Where you're going after the casino, the Sierra Madre. Dead Money, thank you. I could not for the life of me remember the name of it. Yeah, siding with Elijah in Dead Money. You get the non-standard game over where he kills everyone in the Mojave. And it's like, why did you even do that? And why would the player ever think it's a good idea? Number 2, any interactive fiction game where typing "wake up" leads to "it was all a dream" ending. I know there's at least one that does it. I'm sure there's more than one. But yeah, it's just a cheap way to add an ending, like quote unquote Easter egg to an interactive fiction game. So I'm not a fan of Wake Up. And number 1, I had it and I've forgotten it. Jeez, what is wrong with me? How did I forget what it is? Because I was trying to remember the name of the Fallout New Vegas DLC. I had it, and I can't remember it now. What was it? Oh, I remember now. Okay, so the game over you get in Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest 1, where you side with the Dragon Lord. And this is my least favorite for one very specific reason. I played the North American version, Dragon Warrior. I did not have the best translation. And the first time I got to that boss, as a kid, I had a hard time parsing what he was even asking me. And I wasn't sure which, because you're just given a yes-no prompt, I wasn't sure which of them was agreeing to side with him and which one was saying you'll fight him. And I picked wrong, and my game ended. And that was really disheartening for childhood me. And I always disliked it ever since. Because it's a combination of who would ever make this choice, but the fact that it's obscured by a subpar English translation means you're not even really clear what the choice is. At least if you're childhood me. So that's my least favorite. That's number 1 of the bottom 3 secret endings. So number 3, Dead Money, side with Elijah. Number 2, Wake Up, it was all a dream. In interactive fiction specifically, because it's really cheap, because you can just type Wake Up at any time. And number 1, Dragon Warrior, siding with the Dragon Lord, even on accident. Because it just ends your game. Alright, so I don't remember stopping to heal. Clearly I did because I'm alive. I don't remember doing it. We also didn't game over. So I'm not sure when I did it. I mean, I'm glad I did it. I just have no memory of doing it. See, this is part of what I mean when I say my brain doesn't work. Your number 3 bottom ending is the secret ending for Cyberpunk? Are we outside of the spoiler window for Cyberpunk? I don't remember what year it came out. It definitely didn't make 2020. Oh, it was end of 2020, December 10th, 2020. Right, but I don't know that I can talk about why you're wrong without spoilers. Anyway, make your case without spoilers, if you can. The secret ending presents a different way to accomplish the same thing as most of the other endings, which is why I don't mind that it dovetails into those. The main thing about the secret ending that I can see not liking because of that dovetail is what cinematic you get at the end. Assuming you do the choice at the end a certain way. in my mind, nice. I love ads. Let me know when you're back. You won't hear that if you're not back already. But hopefully Fel will say something when they are back. Hey, experiments. Fel has presented an incorrect opinion about Cyberpunk, and I'm trying to explain why it's incorrect without spoilers. Which is tough. And also, Fel is apparently behind ads, so I'm waiting for Fel to get back before I go into it. Alright, so Fel, the reason you do the secret ending to accomplish the same thing as the other endings, but in a different way. So I don't mind that it dovetails into those for that reason. I can understand not liking the cinematic that you get at the end of that, matching one of the other endings. But that, to me, each of the endings has its own mood, really. And to me, the secret ending, because it is very Johnny-centric, should lead into the choice that is very Johnny-centric. Whereas the other choice that leads to that same cinematic makes more sense if you did that side of it. All of the endings are to accomplish the same thing except for the corpo ending. The corpo ending is specifically not accomplishing the same thing as all the other endings. I would honestly have to like look up what the difference in the calls are between the secret ending and the normal ending that gets you to that same scene. But my feeling is that if you're doing the secret ending, which is very Johnny-centric, that you will make the choice at the end that is very Johnny-centric. Whereas if you do the default ending that is not Johnny-centric, it makes more sense to make the choice that's not Johnny-centric. And therefore you would technically have a different avenue to a different ending. No, Rogue is not default. Literally the only default one is the corpo ending, because all of the others have unlock conditions. The corpo one is always available. The rogue ending and the other ending and the secret ending all require extra effort to unlock. I don't know how you're getting to 6. This is obviously not a discussion we can have without spoilers, so... Right, I forgot you can pick gun. But I would still call that 5. The DLC is a whole other thing. We're not talking about the DLC, we're talking about the secret ending. No, if you just bum rush the game, all you get are gun and corpo. No, you don't get swerve. Unless swerve is something else that you're talking about that I'm not understanding. Like, are we talking about Swerve Strickland? I don't think he's in Cyberpunk. Right, you don't get that unless you're doing a non-corpo ending. That's not a non-corpo, non-gun ending. And you have to unlock every non-corpo, non-gun ending. None of them are available by default. You have to unlock the Rogue ending. You have to unlock the Pan Am ending. You have to unlock the secret ending. If you bum rush the game, you will only be presented with siding with Corpo and shooting yourself. No, it doesn't. See, you're talking about Swerve as if it's its own ending when it's not. It is a choice you make, again, after Smasher. But you get to that choice on the Rogue, Pan Am, and Secret route. My argument is it makes the most sense to pick that on the secret route. My understanding, and again, I would have to rewatch videos to confirm it, but from what I remember, not swerving on the secret ending is the same ending as not swerving on the rogue ending, with one minor difference. I don't remember if it has unique phone calls over the credits. I certainly don't remember it having that. Right, and what I'm saying is, why would you do the secret ending which is very Johnny-centric, and not make the swerve choice, which is very Johnny-centric? Your motivation is about everyone else. Hey, Hojo. It's literally what Johnny brings up to prompt that ending. The gameplay difficulties are because you're taking a different route through the finale that has more enemies. And honestly, it's really just the first two rooms that are the difficulty spike, at least from what I remember. See, Fel, this is why we can't talk about it spoiler-free. Again, I would have to watch a video, but maybe you just need to get good, because honestly, I didn't even grok to the fact that your max health is reduced, because the only time I took damage was in like again, the first two rooms. Room clearing became almost instant after that, which is why I never noticed max health going down. But yeah, like, if we're gonna get into an actual discussion about what the different endings mean and everything, then obviously we can't do that without spoilers. And in the meantime, at some point, we crossed the 10,000 XP mark. So of course I get a fight on the run back. Because we want extra fights with our extra fights. Hojo wants me to hydrate. Here you go. I actually spilled some on my chin there. I'm sure you didn't hear that because of a video broadcast. I apologize for that. So, I promise you, I did hydrate. Else, I would not have spilled some on my chin. You know, it's in my beard. Alright, well, Item Smasher aside, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Especially want to thank... Jeez. I need to scroll. Let's see, Fredlin subs. I appreciate that. Primal Liquid, 92 was the raider. There we go. And Timothy for the bits. Yeah. Really awkward that I had to stop and look that up. Sorry. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Thank you all very much. And until next time, take care.